Welcome to tonight's stream. I'm just sorry about the ads. Just to be on the safe side. Hello. Just waiting for my game to load. I don't know how long I actually want to play for tonight, so we'll just see where this goes. If you're here watching, please, please, please say hello. Anybody? Hello? This might be a long night otherwise. If anybody comes in, just say hello, hello, hello. And let me know how I sound tonight. I am literally gonna build a tiny home. Hello, hello, hello. Screaming. Hello, hello. If you're there, let me know. Well, I figure out where I'm gonna build. Hello, hello, hello. If anybody's watching, let me know. I guess I'm playing for myself tonight. So, for anybody actually tuning in, since I don't know if anybody's actually watching, I am Kalo. My pronouns are she, her. I am going to be building a tiny home that's not so tiny. This is very difficult normally to do it right. You have to be able to actually, well, first off, I like to try to make sure I'm actually building it in the right areas. So I actually placed a basement first, and now I'm going to go down and try to evenly space out the walls enough to make sure that everything's even, because that's something I struggle with. One side's always going to be a little bit longer, in my opinion, than the other. So, let's see. Looks about right. There we go. And then we're going to go backwards. And we're gonna add one more piece of the wall there. Never have 2 floors on these. You have to make sure that you have enough room to do your kitchen, your bathroom, your living room, and all that good stuff. And anything else that you want on this build, these types of builds. And this is where it gets a little bit harder, because you don't want to connect them where you get one big room. And then of course you just have to add a room in so that you can add in
Psycho! Stop it.
You can add your roofs, or roofs if you want to add multiple. So like I will do something like this. And something like this. And then I'll go like this. I don't think anybody's gonna be watching tonight, but I always like to use hardwood floors personally. And I think I'm gonna go with a do do do. going to do, let's see. I want to use something I don't normally use. This area. Hello, hello, hello. Anybody out there? Changed my mind. Figure out somewhere else for that bathroom. Bathroom time to figure that out. Hello, hello, hello. Just need somebody to be in here with me. This is lame otherwise. Hello. Don't forget to follow and maybe even subscribe if you want. Welcome in if you want to come in. I'm trying to work on a schedule right now. For what works for me and my family. Hello, welcome in. Good to see you in. I'm just working on a not so tiny home. It's going to count as a tiny home. I started by placing a basement, a 4x4 square for a basement, changing it to tiny home residential, and then I went individually for the walls. I'm just going in individually painting each wall right now. If you have any questions, please do ask. My name is Kaylo, and I'm more than happy to answer them. Welcome in, welcome in. If you can hear me, let me know. Hello, hello. Welcome in. Pleased to have you in. If you can hear me, let me know. If you can't, please do tell me, so I can try to fix that. I would rather fix it than not have it fixed. That is one of those things that I am worried about. So please do let me know. Welcome in, welcome in. My name's Kaylo. I'm working on a not so tiny home. As you can see, I am just working on coloring the walls right now. I did start with the basement in the basement of 4 tiles, and then I just individually laid the walls. That's all I've done so far. You're just getting here in the very beginning still. If you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to ask them. I'm more than happy to answer questions about what I'm doing. I call it a not so tiny home because it doesn't look as tiny as it should. It's almost like a TARDIS in some ways, some would say. Not really. I enjoy just sitting here chit-chatting, so please ask questions. I don't mind answering them. I enjoy the company while I build. I do have to work on some lighting really fast. And I have been favoring these. Hi, Noodle! Hi, Pacific! Hi, everybody! Thank you for raiding in. First time for me to have any raiders coming in, so welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, Grams! Hello! Thank you for coming in. Hi, my name's Kalo. I am right now building a tiny home, a not so tiny home. I started with just the basement with 4 squares, and then I went through and I quite literally had to build the house from the bones up. So I literally went wall by wall by wall. I don't have a raid video or anything like that yet. I am working on getting stuff like that. I still am streaming to Twitch, so do bear with me while I work on getting all of that together. But I am so happy to have you guys all in. I do apologize if you're seeing ads. I'm still learning my system, so I am apologizing. Thank you, Noodle. I will be working on a lot more stuff in the next couple weeks. Trust me on this one. But it's just my second stream, so welcome in. I appreciate you coming in. But seriously, you just got off streaming, so if you need to go rest or anything like that, please do. Rest. Your self-care is more important because there's only one of you. As Pacific likes to say, I would rather see somebody take care of themselves than be in my stream any day. Honestly. So, please take care of yourself if you need to rest your eyes or anything like that. And what were you doing? Thank you, Pacific. I mean, I was in your stream the whole time you were streaming, so. Yep. I did just start streaming. This is my second stream, so please don't forget to follow. So I am 50% the way completed to my goal of, I believe I set it to 20 to start with, and then I will always raise that up. So let's hit my goal of at least 20 to start. I did have to raise that up just recently, so we'll see where that goes. And I do appreciate being told I'm doing fantastic. My stream was very slow at first, so this makes me happy. I just enjoy having a community to play with, honestly. Because playing by yourself can get boring after a while. I do have to go get some food. Go get your food and lurk. I don't mind having a lurk. I love having everybody around. I'm just, like I said, I just decided to do this because somebody was talking about only being able to build tiny homes. I can only build tiny homes if they're big homes. So I figured I'd share my gifts. Pacific, please just go eat and lurk. I don't mind. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much. Don't forget to refresh if you're here from their raid so that it counts towards my goals. Thank you so much for being here, though. Like I said, I'm just starting off my... Mel, enjoy your lurk and enjoy your dinner. I was munching away on chips earlier before I went live, so I'm actually don't know how long I'm going to be live for tonight. So, just depends. Probably once I get, like, everybody starts wanting to go, I'll probably stop for the night. Haven't really decided yet. I'm making an easy one tonight. Hamburger helper. What type of hamburger helper? Oh, hamburger helper. I haven't had a hamburger helper in forever. We try to make something yummy all the time. It's just sometimes we don't want to cook, so it's been sandwiches the last couple days just so that we don't have to heat up the house. Ooh, beef stroganoff, deluxe beef stroganoff. My family always adds just a tad bit of sour cream into the stroganoff, so it's a little bit sweeter. Well, creamier, I should say. But enjoy. Do enjoy your dinner. That sounds delicious. So. Last night we made pork loin and little potatoes with olive oil and Parmesan cheese. That sounds delicious too. The other night we had, let's see, yesterday for lunch we had fried chicken. Then we had sandwiches, and then the night before that, I don't remember. I have very bad memory though, so it's very, very rare that I remember. Unless I'm the one cooking, I don't remember normally. And that's very rare that I cook anymore, honestly. But enjoy your lurk. Totally understand. We try to split it up between, I live with my mom, so we try to split it up between the three of us. Tomorrow is frozen chicken pot pies. LOL. That actually sounds delicious too, honestly. I haven't had a pot pie in a while though either, so everything sounds good right now though. When you're like not, when you're not hungry but you're hungry at the same time. Would you be willing to share? 'Cause yum. Right? It's like, that sounds delicious. I'm falling in love with the Boston Market pot pies. Oh yeah, those can be good too. I personally loved making my own pot pies though. So it might be cold by the time it gets to you, but sure, yeah, right? Probably would be cold if you had to send it to me too. I'll take it. Hug and compromise for it being right. Anything sounds good at this point. But I do appreciate everything. I actually have my laptop open right now so I can moderate for myself too, since most of my mods are asleep right now. Downside to having family and friends overseas from the States. I'm up and they're asleep. I'm used to it though. So, always fun. So, I do appreciate you guys coming in and sharing about your yummy food. Oh, puppy kisses. I'm getting puppy kisses. Gotta love the puppy kisses. Deal. Right? A hug over cold food any day would work, in my opinion. So Mel gives good hugs and you can confirm. That's always a good thing, right? Having somebody who can give a really good hug is a really good thing. Having somebody who can give a back massage is a really good thing too. And having animals who don't like to antagonize other animals would be a good thing too. My black cat is sitting outside my room right now, watching the dog give me kisses. So, that's always fun. that's gonna start a barking fest. So I do apologize ahead of time if the dog starts barking up a storm. He likes to bark at the kitties. We call them kibbies in this house because we talk like a dog sometimes to keep the dog happy. As does Pacific, I have a cousin who gives the best hugs. Big old bear hugs, right? I have a couple cousins like that myself. I just don't see my family as often as I would like to. It's been since August since I saw one of my cousins when they came out this way to visit. And when I say we, I mean me and my mother drove about 2 hours north to go see them because they did not rent a car when they came out this way. So, that was fun. The majority of my family, though, lives back east still, so that's why I don't see my family often. Let's see, I don't use these often in builds. I have a bunch of cousins. My grandpa is one of 4. My mom is one of 5, and my grandparents have 11 grandkids. So my dad's side of the family had 11 kids in total. Living, of course, like 13 pregnancies, but the ones that actually survived were only 11, and my father's the baby of all of them. So between cousins, I can't really give you a grand total. Mostly because I don't first cousins. I grew up with second cousins. That's how far apart my family's range is. Very confusing, I know. It's just a matter of knowing who family is. I make jokes about this, but it's the truth. If I had stayed where my dad is in New York, I would have been running family across him, potential boyfriends across him to find out if they're relatives or not. I joke about it, but it's the truth. That's the sad part. And I did go ahead and delete those extra counters because I didn't like how they looked. It's a hit or miss with me. I did make the kitchen a tad bit smaller than I normally would because I wanted to make a nice backyard area. I was born and raised in Washington, 3rd generation in America. I know that my mom's side of the family came over, well, my mom's side of the family came over on the Mayflower, so I lost count of where we are on generations because I am purely a mutt when it comes down to mixture. I know I am Caucasian. I know that. Otherwise, I can't tell you anything other than that because it just don't make sense to me. So, Viking, you're a Viking and a mutt too. I've been looking for this for a couple years now because by the time I came around, my dad's dad was long dead, but I had heard rumors that we had Native American in us. I had heard rumors that we had Irish in us, and that's just my dad's side of the family. My mom, I know for a fact, side of the family has German, Polish, British, for sure in it. It gets very complicated on my genealogy search. I do like doing genealogy stuff, though. I will admit that. that hood right there. So, quite literally worth it, you know, to figure all that out sometimes. But sometimes it just doesn't make sense though either, so I just say do what you want to when it comes straight down to it. Bad habits to say, but it's up to what you want to do, you know? I know that the rumor is that we have Irish. I just haven't been able to prove it. My grandmother on my dad's side said we were 57, a little bit of everything. That's what my mom likes to say about me and my brother. My biological brother. I will say this nicely. I have adopted a lot of my friends. See, I want to do that. See, I want to do an ancestry DNA test or like a Me23 test. I just haven't ever got it as a gift, and I've never actually had it where I'm getting stuff like that. So, yay, I'm getting there. And I do apologize for everything. I am still learning a lot of my stuff. So if ads pop up, just let me know in chat. Because I don't know how to tell on that stuff still. I'm still learning. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. I just work little by little and I'm learning. I like to say that because I am learning still. So I would rather say I'm learning still than be like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. Yeah, I have no clue. Honestly, I'm just grateful I don't need to. So right now, let me, I have my laptop in front of me so I can actually tell you without actually having to go figure it out in my head again. So I know I own all of the expansion packs right now. Give me a second. It's gotta load. So I own all of the expansion packs, all the game packs, and all of the stuff packs so far for the PlayStation. I have a list of packs of when they came out, which ones they are, and all of that stuff. So I own all of the expansion packs, all the packs, like the game packs. I just guess I called them the pack list on my list of stuff packs. Yeah, I'm a console player. I am definitely a console player. I do own I own some of them for like the place for the. I own two things on. I have like the main pack for Xbox, and then like I think it's give me a second. Realm of Magic for Xbox. I actually enjoyed it on the Xbox. The PlayStation tends to lag a little bit more than it should, in my opinion. But I play on PlayStation 4, and then I also, like I said, I have for Xbox and some of the packs for the PC. I just don't have a gaming laptop or PC that will actually run the system properly. Because Sims 4 will kill laptops. I know this for a fact. I have killed multiple laptops, and it's not funny when it comes straight down to it. And I have family that will admit this, and one of them is my moderator. I quite literally have it where he'll straight out say, yeah, no, she's killed about 5 computers, if not more. He is my techie. When it comes down to stuff I can't do on my own, he's the one who will tell me how to fix it. I'll admit that right now. I have my own personal tech guru that has taught me a lot more than my schooling did. Right? More power to me, but it's just a matter. I have some of the kits, not a lot. So I have the Dustbuster kit. I have the Blooming Rooms kit. I have the Decor to the Max kit. I have the little Campers kit. I have the Pastel Pop kit. Bathroom Clutter kit. Greenhouse kit. Basement Treasures kit. Book Nook. I have the Poolside Splash kit. The Castle Estate, Gothic Decor, and Party Essentials. Those are the ones I have for kits, though. Otherwise, all the other ones I have so far, other than some of the... I'm missing, like, 4 of the stuff packs. So, it's not horrible. Just... I have a list that I check off every time I get a pack. Thank you, lady. And welcome in. I do appreciate you coming in and playing. I do apologize. I do apologize for the dog barking in the background. He heard somebody outside, so he is barking. I do not have my own gaming room set up, studio set up. I am playing in my room on my TV. So every so often you will hear my fiance in the back room in the back of the room yelling at the dog. Right? He was just giving me kisses earlier too. It's funny that what he does sometimes. I swear he does what he wants when he wants, and he don't care who knows it at this point. So, it's more the fact that he's protecting everybody in the house, and he's still only like a year. He's only like a year and a year and a month old. Almost a year and 2 months. So he likes to bark at everything and everyone, and he doesn't know when to stop. So, but he'll lay down at some point and just watch me play. He loves watching Mama play. So, it comes in handy. I will admit that right now. I just apologize ahead of time because I do not like when we have the dog barking in the background. I think it's inappropriate. And now he's wanting to bite Mommy's hand. So, it's whatever. You're being talked about. Yeah, I'm talking about you. You gotta stop. So, eventually I'll have Cam and you guys can see the dog. Seriously, I will show the dog off in a heartbeat. The little psycho that he is right now. And I do call him that in the most loving way possible. He's just attacking my hand, and it can get annoying at some point. So... But, as you can tell, I am just working on the kitchen right now. I did build this so far, what is the house. I just built up from the foam structure, and I just placed 4 tiles in the very bottom so that I could build a not so tiny home that counts as a tiny home. So you get all the perks of the tiny home when you're in here. So right now I have a micro home, so you get the light and the load, gets along with everybody. Let's grow, which I will actually make a greenhouse in the backyard for that one because I like having the greenhouses since I do have seasons when I play. Feeling fine all the time, got the touch, so your skills increase in that cozy comforts. It kind of comes in handy when you're playing a legacy and you're trying to get stuff done, or even doing not so berry challenges. I don't do challenges like that because of the fact that I can't add mods into my game. It's the downside to the console builds, in my opinion, is that you don't get those little perks of being able to add. I just remembered what I forgot to add in. I forgot to add a sink in. That's not good. So, I do appreciate everybody coming in tonight. And I appreciate all the kind comments and all that good stuff. I am working on eventually getting what I need to add, like rewards and stuff like that. I'm working on stuff still, so we started streaming a little tad bit early in my opinion, but it's no big deal. We'll just work with what we got, right? And I'm just glad everybody's here and having fun and enjoying themselves and all that good stuff. I am going to take a minute to get myself something to drink. I do tend to try to use the same stuff a lot, so if you do see a lot of the things that I use over and over and over again, like in builds that aren't being shown on stream or anything like that, I do apologize ahead of time. I have a bad habit of using the same stuff over and over and over again. Just falls into the habit of stuff I like. When it comes straight down to it. Only downside to sizing stuff down to make it look good, in my opinion. So hopefully everybody's had a good night so far. And the ones who have had dinner had a yummy dinner. And those who are getting dinner in them now and lurking are having a good dinner. I honestly will probably eat like at 3 in the morning. I have not gotten off my graveyard shift schedule, and I hold weird hours for food intake still, which you gotta love sometimes, having those weird hours. And I do mean only sometimes, not always. Sometimes I wish I had a normal schedule again. And I do mean again, I've worked where I wasn't a graveyard worker, and I had a normal work schedule where I worked in the morning from like 8 to 4. I just ended up on graveyard for my last job and had issues, so this is actually going to help me out, is how I see it eventually. Hopefully. But I do appreciate all the follows and all that good stuff. So I don't so hopefully everybody's having fun watching me do what I'm doing. I'm just trying to figure out what I want to. Ooh, that will bring a nice little touch of the pink in. That would work. Just like that. And if I do it right. I do not personally use any codes or anything like that either, so I have to, I could use like the BB move objects and stuff like that. I just choose not to. I just personally choose not to because I want all my trophies when I play. When you use codes on the console, you kind of have to be aware of what you're missing out on. So I highly recommend, if you're going to play console, not to use the BB move objects, motherload, or anything like that, which is why I say if you're going to use some of my builds and you want it as like a starter home, don't expect it to be a starter home ever. Unless you're going to use the free real estate code, because then you could, but just be aware that my builds will never, and I mean never, be under, like, I think my cheapest one was like 2,000. Like, I mean, this isn't even technically a starter home, and I haven't finished decorating yet. And I will personally admit that one. I was helping a friend out who's new to The Sims over voice chat while they streamed the other day. And she was appreciated, and I was just over here building whatever I wanted. Because I like to play while I watch people all the time. I call it a bad habit of mine too, but I have a couple of those bad habits that I need to get rid of probably. Honestly. So, it's always fun to have a community who wants to actually be here watching, even if it's just lurking. I don't mind the lurking at all, honestly. I have had to do so much the last couple days, it's not funny. So I was thinking about streaming yesterday, and then stuff happened where I couldn't, and it was like, okay, so when should I stream? And I have been trying for the last couple weeks to get into a routine, and I'm still trying to figure out what I'm doing still. So I'm not going to be posting like schedules yet or anything like that. I'm just going to wing it, and hopefully you can be here to watch. Because until I can get a set schedule, I'm not going to be able to set a schedule. I have to get myself out of my graveyard shift schedule still, and then like during the day I take help around the house and stuff like that, so kind of have to work around everything else, you know. So just bear with me, and I'll eventually have a schedule where I'm playing constantly again. So, and I do mean constantly. I do tend to have a bad habit of playing this game way too much. I was quite literally watching Pacific's stream and having the time of my life playing my video game to see if it was working or if I was just going nutso because I was having issues. I am actually in Pacific's time zone, so I am in Arizona, so when time changes in fall, I will be on Mountain Standard Time, but I will be on Pacific Standard Time until then. And then, of course, time change again. I am in a state that does not change time right now, so gotta love that. The last 21 years of my life, I have been stuck in a non-changing time zone. And when you work in a different state, so I'm like right on, right? So I'm right on the border. I'm not that far from the border, and I would work in Nevada but live in Arizona, and it threw me off a lot during the winter months. So You gotta love Arizona for not changing times and just making it more complicated, in my opinion. It's just the pains of being in Arizona. That and the heat, of course. The heat's killer in the summer. Zulu. So, like, Pacific said what gets off at 9, and it's almost 10 now here. So I'm literally, when you're watching Pacific Creates, I'm in the same time zone as her for Washington right now. It's just when it comes straight down to it, I'm going to, it goes from come fall, whenever it is. I don't even know when time changes this year. I could ask my Alexa and find out. Hey Ziggy. Hey Ziggy. When's time change?
Time changes at 2 a.m. on March 10th, 2024, in the United States. Daylight saving time begins at that time and lasts until November 3rd, 2024.
November 3rd.
Also, I can give you notifications on new movies being released.
Thank you, Ziggy. Stop. Stop. I have my Alexa going off, so telling me what I need to know. Comes in handy having her. Sometimes she doesn't like to listen. I mean, at 10:30 I have to take meds, and I turned off that so I could stream. I got my meds I have to take care of at 10:30, so if somebody wants to remind me of that. But yeah, I'm in the same time zone until... Yeah, it's weird. I'll admit that. It's just a pain in the butt sometimes. But it's worth it when it comes straight down to it. So I just sometimes wish so that it was easier, or at least like make it so that my state actually changes time zones would come in handy. In my opinion, because otherwise it's just a pain in the butt. But yeah, it was tough growing up out here because my mom, living close to Nevada, we have casinos across the way pretty much, and working in casinos for the majority of the time. I blame the show Jag for me thinking of, yeah, probably, I've actually never heard of that show, honestly. It might be showing my age just a tad bit there. I am only gonna be 32 in July, so bear with me. On some of this. I also was very sheltered as a child, so yeah, there's that too. But who knows what actually will ever happen. Dentures or retainer by the sink? That is the question. Do I put a retainer or dentures on the sink? And here's the other question. Toilet paper facing outwards or facing towards the wall? So like that or like this? I personally would do it this way. Just because I worked housekeeping and hospitality, and this is how we were always trained to do it. Personally. Just my personal preference on that. So... That's where I wish I had the BB moved objects on, honestly. To put those little extra touches in to the bathroom. So, everything ends up working out for the long run, though. Yeah. So, yeah, there's always that. I'm running out of things to talk about, sorry. Ahead of time. For me, rambling. I do not like to ramble normally, but I have no choice sometimes but to ramble. So yeah, I'm just adding a little bit of clutter into the bathroom as much as I can, at least, of clutter. Can't do too much on the systems like this, in my opinion. You only can do so much unless I add stuff to the floor. And messy houses, in my opinion, aren't the prettiest. Clutter's one thing. Messiness is a totally different story. So, like, they have the clothes piles when you get those clothes piles when you have the laundry set up in your house. And those bug me. Just remember, you don't always have to talk. We're just along for the ride. Yeah, right? I have bad habits of talking too much and rambling on, and I'm still getting used to everything. So bear with me. I'm still learning, as I like to put it. But those clothes piles, if you know what I'm talking about, and I don't know where they are right now, but those, those get to me every so often too. Like, I hate a messy house like that, but at least on The Sims, I'm backed up on laundry. Laundry Day, base game, high school years. Though it's the laundry pack I'm talking about, where if you add the washer and dryer to the house, it will cause your sim, when they take off their clothes, if you don't have a place for their clothes to actually go, it will cause it so that your sim's laundry will end up on the floor, those piles of clothes. It's also in the clutter pack, so the bathroom clutter pack also has some of it, and I have a funny feeling it's in with the rugs, now that I'm thinking about it. Because the majority of stuff like that ends up in rugs. So, I think they do have it in high school years. I think you're right. what I found interesting about the high school year pack was the fact that they added a mod in one of our customized RCC mods, technically. So like, it was originally called Slice of Life, and then it became High School Years, and that's where we got the hair, at least, from it. The growth of the hair and stuff. Otherwise, it's still missing, like, but it should show you how much I pay attention to video games right there. Bad habits die hard on gaming life, in my opinion. Let's see, clutter, there we go. Let's see. So like, you get stuff like the trash spills, which I just zoomed up on. So like stuff like, I'm hoping I'm showing you what I'm looking at, but yeah, you get stuff like that where it's like, that's great and stuff if you're trying to do like a messy build, I guess. It's just not personally my style. I am hoping I did not freeze. I am trying to pay attention to the screen and stuff like that, so if I did freeze, let me know. You guys are probably on. So hopefully everybody's okay. So we have stuff like this where we have the mess, and I get it, it's necessary to make the house look more lived in, personally. It's just not personally me on my builds, because I know with like some of this it will get picked up by like if you have maids or something. So it's like, yeah, it's great for like clutter wars and stuff like that, but some of this is just not me personally. I always like the good old relics stuff. I think those are cute from the basement packs. I do try to make playable builds for everybody to know. I do try to do that. It does not always work if I'm on PC. I do my cheats on PC, so, or my mods on PC. It's not technically cheating. I will call it a cheat because you're modifying a game from how it is made. I'm actually going to add a wall, I think, because I forgot to. I tend to add hidden area. I try to hide in areas nowadays just to and that's why I don't do it that way. Adding a wall, doing anything that you have set up the way I have it built so that it's a tiny home but not really a tiny home, you have to be super careful on your builds because they will turn around and count it as a wall when you don't want it to be a wall. So I literally have to be super careful how I do stuff when I build these builds, which is why I normally don't do them on stream. This is nerve-wracking, honestly, right now. Doing this for the first time on stream because I have to be super careful on what I'm doing. And I know I'm doing fine, but it's nerve-wracking when you're trying not to mess up on your build. My nerves are going to be with me for a while probably on these. But eventually I'll get used to it and I'll be fine. And I know that. Haha. That works. Haha. I'm just adding a room in for like storage of the decorations from seasons and a laundry area. I tend to do these rooms a lot when I build, and it's just to make it so that it's not out in the open or I have to make room in the bathroom or something like that for it. And yes, I know a lot of houses out here that have bathrooms in their laundry stuff in their bathrooms. It's not, unfortunately, uncommon out here. I don't know if it's common throughout the United States or anything like that. I know when I was a kid I never saw one in the bathroom, but to each their own, you know? If it works for you, it works for you. And I do tend to work on the inside of the house before I work on the outside. Just, like, don't get me wrong, I have, like, the outside pretty much of the house made. I'm gonna do like the detailing later. So I have my ways of doing things and everybody has their own ways of building, so doesn't matter, honestly. And yeah, it was laundry days that I was talking about. I'm pretty sure it was laundry day. Or whatever the name of the pack is. I can't think of the pack's name right now. Give me a second. Hopefully everybody's enjoying their meals. At least. It was Laundry Day Stuff pack. That's exactly what the name was. Playing off of what I'm reading over and over and over again now. So I like to put like these decorations, I'll like put these here, and then I'll put like the get together, growing together pack stuff. I'll use that wall for it, or I'll sometimes like just put it over here by this. By the door, because that makes sense to me. Have the schedule right there by the front door so that when you're going to go out, you know exactly what's happening. And I do tend to build with my walls down just so it's easier for me to see, and then I'll add those details like you saw. Just so I'm not losing my mind on stuff. And eventually I'm planning on getting a capture card so that I can do the majority of my stuff where I have it going to my laptop. So I'm still playing on console, but it's streaming with my laptop, so I can use a regular camera It's complicated. I'm working out the details still, for the most part. And I have no clue where that red bar came from. I have had that red bar on my screen for a couple weeks now, and it's actually annoying me a little bit. But hopefully everything you guys are seeing so far is giving you guys ideas for your own builds and ideas on what you can do without mods and the little codes and all that good stuff. Kind of get you back to the bare essentials, in my opinion, where you're playing without knowing all that. Or at least that's how I see it. And I use like hardwood floors on everything because I personally like the look of hardwood floors, and you can always just throw rugs down. It makes sense, I promise. And I will jump around and work on other things within the build a lot of the time. Let's see. I don't use this bed often. And it's like elegant looking enough. I am trying to use stuff I don't use often on builds, honestly. I have certain stuff I use on like every build, and it's getting me out of my comfort zone. And I don't always put like a dresser in or stuff like that because I don't really have that much room, but I have been using the dresser from Tiny Living would work for this type of room, where you could like almost use it almost like a nightstand would work, or this one would work, this mirrored one. Again, give me one moment. I've been sneezing all day long. Like that would work, but this one would work too, where it's from high school years, and you could always just use that, and this way you can still walk around the bed, and your Sims aren't trying to get through, over the bed, or anything like that. Just depends on what you want, what the look you're going for is. And this way you have some type of wardrobe or something in there. Personal preference, I have dressers in my room. Well, hell, my TV's on a dresser. Not a lot of room. And I will admit it, I work off of when I work on school. Let's see, I've started around age 6 with The Sims at my friend's house. I've been simming since age 6. I ended up with Sims 2, and then I ended up with Sims 3 while Sims 4 was coming out. I was still getting like Sims 3 pack games, and then I turned 18 and my friend gave me their Sims 4 game because they didn't like it. I was back home in New York, and they didn't like the Sims games, and they're like, here, happy birthday. And he started me on a horrible path of playing Sims 4s. So I kind of lost track. I'll be 32 in July, so age 6 to 32. Pretty much. I have played every version of The Sims at this point. And I don't know if I should be proud of that or not at this point. Most people would say yes, be proud of it. Given the fact how much money I have spent over the years on The Sims, let alone had friends buy me packs and stuff like that. Yeah. I don't know how to feel anymore. But yeah, no, I've been playing for a long time. I just was slow getting from Sims 3 to Sims 4. So I said this before in a chat before. So with my, give me a second. So with the online for the PlayStation, it's been like 300 and something hours, and I will personally, when I'm not streaming, I will pass out with the game on. So it will be paused and I will just pass out and wake up and play again. That's when I was working and I was home and I didn't have schoolwork to do and all that stuff. But I had like over 1,000, I want to say, on the computer for The Sims 4. Since I do have my computer open, I can look. It's not like I don't have the apps on the computer, I just can't download. If it would load, would be awesome. I think that one's... Let's see, reload page. I'm having issues. I am sorry about that. It's like 1,149 hours, I want to say, on the computer I've logged over the years for The Sims 4. So I have The Sims 4 base game and 28 add-ons for the computer. And then it's, let it load. My computer's being slow tonight. 1,170 hours and 52 minutes on the computer logged. And yes, that is a lot. And I am aware of this. And then for The Sims 3, which I don't think it's logged anymore because it's been so long. Yeah, it's not logging my Sims 3 play, but that was probably a lot more, honestly. But my friend owns Sims 1, so I only got to play The Sims 1 when I was over at their house. Sims 2 I had for like a very short period of time before I got Sims 3. Then I got Sims 3 and that was the end of Sims 2. I think I actually ended up giving it away to somebody I consider a sister. Just so that they had some type of Sims game, because they loved coming over and playing on my computer for Sims, and I was like, here, I'm not playing this version, you can have this version, I just want this version. Like, I set them up with Sims 2 so that they had something. Anything, pretty much. I was just trying to be nice to them. And I am personally not afraid to give them a TV in their room. But if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it this way so that it's not that big. I'll give them a bigger TV out in the living room. Personally. Yay, it actually wanted to work. Yay. Sometimes that adding a game system onto those tiny stuff, it's a hit or miss, I've noticed. I am officially up to 13 followers, and I am so thrilled about that. I was just looking. Let's see. Let's add some pictures in here. This would be like the parents' room if you're gonna play in here with like a family. I had 7-day trial for both The Sims 1 and 2 back when I got my first computer. Didn't care for them due to the graphics, but I also got 60-minute demos for The Sims 3, which I did enjoy, and was kinda sad that it ended as I didn't have the money to actually buy the game back then, right? Like, I think it's great that they added it so that base game's free, so like some of my mods, my personal mods that are gonna be in my streams sometimes, they are just starting off and they only have the base game. So it's like going back to basics for me to teach, because I'm kind of like teaching them how to play at the same time. So it's a matter of me actually having to go back in and be like, okay, so this is what you have and this is what I have, and I can't, like, for me to time out the games, like stop the games from playing, I have to de-download them. I have to undownload them. So it's like harder for me to do it. You didn't get into Sims 4 until 2020, and you haven't stopped playing since, right? It's addicting. When you finally actually get into the game, it's addicting. And I only got to play Sims 1 when I was over at my friend's house. And that's what opened me up to the world of The Sims. And I was obsessed. Growing up, I didn't have a lot of money, so I didn't get to own the game myself until I was older. And it was only because, like, my mom and dad divorced and I moved across country, and whatever I wanted, I got pretty much in the end. So, from my dad, I kind of turned into daddy's princess. The daddy's little girl thing that happens with a divorce. Like, I live with my mom. I've lived with my mom for 21 years since the divorce happened, and I love my mom to death. I love the fact that we moved out here because I did get opportunities that I wouldn't have gotten had it been that I was still in New York. I will openly admit that right now. I got to do marching band in high school because the school in New York didn't have that. Your mom and dad divorced when you were 3 years old, and you were raised with your mom also. So I have gone through 2 different rounds of chemo treatments with my mother. My mom's got stage 4 breast cancer. That's one of the reasons I refuse to move away from my mother. She just recently got told that the last diagnosis was wrong. Her cancer never actually came back 4 years ago now. No, more like 7 years ago now. So yeah, I'm even losing it at this point with that. But I've been through everything with her, so I wouldn't leave my mom in a heartbeat. you couldn't pay me $1,000 to leave my mom at this point. My mama needs me. That's how I see it, at least. I also take my mom to doctor's appointments. It's okay. Yeah, stage 1, as long as they can catch it early enough, stage 1's great. Once you hit that stage 4, you're terminal no matter what. Even if it goes away, you'll always be terminal. That's how we were explained to it, at least. How we got explained it. And people are like, oh, well, she's in remission now, right? Yeah, she's in remission, but it don't mean that it couldn't come back and it couldn't kill her. So. And it's pretty much been me and my mom for the last, since 2015. She remarried in 2007, and we lost my stepdad in 2015, so. We've kind of had it hard the last couple years. So, it's been a learning curve, pretty much, is how I see it, and we're working through it still. I have learned a lot more about cars than I ever thought I would, put it that way. And I just realized what I forgot in that other room. Personally, just have to... I have a bad habit of sizing stuff up, by the way. People, bear with me on this one. Sizing stuff up makes it so that worth it, in my opinion. And the sizing up and down on the console has been a learning curve for me, because I had never done it on the console till like a couple months ago. So that was fun to learn. I was talking earlier during Pacific Create stream about my website design that I had to do for class, and my design I did for class was based off of video games, and one of the games I picked was The Sims 4. So I added all like the codes, so like the BB move objects, testing cheats, enabled true, motherload, and stuff like that on the site. And then I went into like details on what games were coming out. The last update I did on it was, and this was all coding, so the last update I did on it, I would see my dad every other weekend as a kid, and there was this fishing game that I really wanted, but my mom didn't have the money to buy it for me, and I asked my dad and he gave me the money to get it right. So like when I started driving, I didn't work, so if I needed money for like gas or something, it was call my father and he'd wire me money for whatever I wanted. I literally got to do that and I loved it. I loved every minute of it. So a couple years ago he lost his job, so he hasn't been really able to help me out as much as he would want. I am the youngest of two, so my mom had two of us. I am 6.5 years younger than my brother, and my brother and my dad lived in New York, and I live with my mom in Arizona. So there's always the fun part of like going back. I would go back like every other summer or every other winter and visit. The year I turned 16, I was so wanting to learn how to drive in the snow, because I don't get snowed out here. I'm the youngest of two as well. My sister's 7.5 years older than me. See, it's not just me. I add that half and everybody yells at me for it out here. it's like, no, it's a thing. That half is actually a thing. I didn't have to call my dad. I waited till it was my weekend. See, I lived some far away, so I think you're somewhere overseas, right, Grams? I'm in the States, so I'm on one side of the country and my dad's on the other side, so I didn't get to go do weekend visits with him. Yeah, so you're closer to where my dad is compared to me, pretty much. So you're pretty much on that side of the country where I'm on the other side. I've been close to, I haven't gone into Canada, but I went to Niagara Falls as a kid. New York side of Niagara Falls, the state side. See, that's the other thing. We moved thousands of miles away, and I do not regret it to this day. I love my mother for moving me away. I really do. I say this because she can hear every word I say. I love my mother, and she knows this. Yeah. Go enjoy your sleep. Have a good night's sleep, and no problem. I appreciate it. Sweet. I'm getting to moderate while I do everything else. Gotta love it. But yeah, no. I lived in the Adirondack Mountains, if you're used to New York at all. And my grandparents, God rest their soul, I am not religious normally at all, but they did so much for us kids when they were alive, so I got to go to Hawaii because of my mom's parents, put it that way. But yeah, I miss my hometown. See, I've been to the state side of the Niagara Falls. I remember a little arcade there. Otherwise, I remember seeing the falls, and that's about it. I was so young, I don't remember. But I've been to California many times now, because I'm not far from California either. I have been to Michigan. If you want to really count every place I've been to, I include the airports. I've been to Chicago. I've been to Washington, D.C. I've been to New Jersey. My mom's side of the family lives in Jersey now. I talked about how my aunt and uncle who live in my aunt who now, because her late husband died, they took me and my brother, to Disneyland a lot when we came out to visit, so, and that was a good distance of a drive because they lived up in San Francisco Bay Area, so that was always fun. Going home from there. Flying home from San Francisco was always fun. The only place in in the States that I've been was to Florida back in '92. Hey, that's the year I was born. Yeah, I have never gone to Disney World. Would love to. Honestly, I would love to go to Disney World. Um, I'll admit this, when I was younger, my mom had been offered to go live with one of her friends from church when she was growing up in Florida, and I say nowadays, like, oh, I'm glad we didn't, because I'm terrified of being anywhere near, like, a hurricane or twister or whatever. I would never want to live in that type of area, but, and that's just me personally growing up. I'm like, I don't want to be in that type of area ever now, but, I would have been spoiled rotten out there. So I kind of appreciate not being put in that situation nowadays. Oh, nice. Yeah, my first ever cruise was in Hawaii. I got 3rd-degree sunburn. Didn't hear the end of that one. Well, the kids lost the sunscreen. Why did you put the teenager and the kid in charge of sunscreen is beyond me still. But that's what my grandmother did. Took us to Hawaii and then put us in charge of our own stuff. Gotta love it. My aunt, when we went to go visit my aunt and uncle in California, we went to Manta Ray Bay, which my uncle's cousin worked at, so we got like the VIP tour for it pretty much. And then we went to SeaWorld in California. I've gone to the San Diego Zoo. I've been to Knott's Berry Farm a couple times now. Let's see, what else have I done? I really have been blessed over the years to get to do stuff, so I can't really complain about my childhood at all. You know, but just depends. I actually have to sit down and think about what I've done over the years. Junior high, we got to go to Knott's Berry Farm for band in the park or something like that. It was some type of band event in the park, musical wise. That's when I was still playing my ex got his mom to pay for me to go with them, as he was a mama's boy, and all he had to do was throw a tantrum and his mom would buy or do whatever he wanted. Yeah, that seems to be the case with a lot of people I've noticed. I had an ex that I've been in some really abusive situations, I will admit that, and he took a baking pan to my leg and then ran to his mom and tried to cover it up, and when I showed her what he had done, she's like, no, you're in the wrong. Like, Mama Bear will cover for you only so much, pretty much. Just how I saw it. Like, you can try, but your mom's not going to cover for you. I'm actually really close, and this is going to sound sad, but I'm really close with his brother. And his brother has openly admitted, other than the fact that I haven't talked to his mom in a while, I am closer to family than his own brother is. I contact him more than his actual brother does. And when you really think about that, that's really, really, really sad. I'm not even really blood family, and I contact him more than he does. But it's to each their own. Mama's boys throw tantrums way too often because they just think they can. I only witnessed him throw a tantrum once, and it was when we were in Florida. We were doing some shopping the one day, and he wanted something but didn't have the money for it, so he started throwing a tantrum until his mother bought it for him. See, don't get me wrong, I can throw tantrums all day long, but I don't get what I want normally. But when it came down to something I wanted, and like my mom had to go back into the workforce, my mom only did like side jobs when I was really little, to the point that I don't remember her actually doing them because I was in school by the time she was doing them. She ran her own daycare. She was certified in the state of New York to run her own daycare. So I remember her running her own daycare because I've heard, mostly only because I've heard stories of it. I don't actually like fully remember her doing it. And that sounds horrible now that I said it out loud. But she likes to tell the same story over and over and over again. I blame the chemo a lot of the times because she'll start telling the same story, and then I'll tell her I'll finish it off for her pretty much, and she's like, "Oh, you've already heard that." I'm like, "Yeah, a couple times." But she ran her own daycare when I was a kid. It was really embarrassing, but also kind of funny to see an 18-year-old acting like a 2-year-old, right? And guys tend to age a lot slower than females, I've noticed. Like, we females tend to age a lot faster than we should have to sometimes. And then again, I've seen a whole bunch of women acting like teenagers lately too, so who knows, you know. But yeah, my ex threw a hissy fit like that before too, and he didn't get his way because he was doing it at me, and I just looked at him like, yeah, no. I was 2 months older than him, and more right. And it always seems to be that's how it happens. You always seem to be older. You always seem to be more mature than they are, and then they throw a hissy fit when you call them out on it. That's where that is. You know, I normally have to search where that is. I can never find that when I'm looking for it, normally. That's hilarious. But yeah, no, it's always been where I got what I wanted normally, being the youngest one, but I never had to, to really throw a hissy fit. I wouldn't say I ever threw a hissy fit, really. I would never say I threw a hissy fit. I would say that sometimes when I didn't get my way, I would be upset, but I don't think I ever threw a hissy fit. Right? I know a lot of 2-year-olds who are more mature than a lot of males. Not to diss on males or anything like that, though. By any means. But yeah. It's always good to have something to talk about, though. I enjoy it, at least. I don't normally listen to the music on this, and it's very weird to be listening to the music right now. It's just weird. I was trying to get Spotify to work on my PlayStation the other day, and it kept saying that it was already downloaded when it wasn't. It was weird. I gotta work on that eventually too. At some point, figure that nonsense out. Yeah. Everybody has their ways of doing stuff though too, so. And getting stuff the way they want it. So. It's just a matter of seeing what everybody else wants to see, you know? I only recall her throwing one tantrum when she was little, and all I had to do is get her to stop was just act like I was going to leave her right there in the aisle of the store we were in, and she never did it again, right? I've had my mother threaten to do that when I was little. I will admit that when I was very little, I would throw a hissy fit, and she only had to count to 3, not even to get. I will never, to this day, know what happens when she got to 3. Because me and my brother would be doing something, she'd start counting, and we'd just stop what we were doing and behave. She never actually had to finish counting. And she loves telling that story. Absolutely loves telling it. And I'm like, are you trying to embarrass me? And here I am telling the story now. My mom did that to me when I was little, yeah. Hey, if it works, right? Oh, I only needed one more person. Sorry, I'm checking milestones and stuff too while I'm doing this so I can double check that I'm getting everything properly done. I've changed my name, views so many times at this point, it's not funny. I've been trying to figure out what I was gonna do today. Well, when I went live, I was working on a cozy winter vibe place at one point up in the mountains over in Snowy Escapes of that place right now at one point in time, and then I saw the comments about not the tiny homes, and I was like, oh yeah, that would work too, huh? That would work really well right now. Because I keep talking about, oh, how I can build these tiny homes that aren't really tiny. I might as well show off a little bit. That's how I see it. Too big. Let's see. It's not horrible. Nice rug always throws something together, in my opinion. My grandparents always thought it was best to just give in to whatever we wanted, where my mom wanted us to be more disciplined, and now she looks back and she's like, I really did do a good job, didn't I? I'm like, well, I got my customer service skills from somewhere. Don't know where still, but I got them from somewhere. I have very, very good customer service skills, is what I've been told. Multiple times. And yeah, I want to get out of that business form. My mom did the count to 3 thing when I refused to do something she asked me to do. She only got to 3 once, and that was because I wanted to see what would happen. Needless to say, I never let her get to 3 again after that. Me and my brother literally, we'd hear her start to count and we would freeze and start doing what she wanted or start listening. She normally started counting because we started fighting. So it was more of a 1, 2, and we would be perfect angels after that. My grandmother looked at her one day and said, what happens when you get to 3? Don't know. Never had to, is what she said to her. Still, to this day, she would never know what would have happened, she said. She has openly and honestly said, I don't even know what I would have done had I had to get to 3 with you kids. Which kind of makes sense in the long run when you really think about it, so. It's kind of nice to know that. She didn't even know what she wanted to do with that. So there's always that. Sorry, I just got an email. So, yeah, that's always fun too. My mom wouldn't just count 1, 2, 3. She would put the 1/2, 3/4 in each number, right? My mom was never like that, though. She was straightforward. Then again, we never gave her really a chance to go anywhere other than where we were, so there's that too. You know, which works in the long run when you think about it. We were really good kids, though. We really were. We did as we were told. Every so often we didn't. Mostly when we got older. I kind of hit that rebellious stage when we moved out here because I was so coddled as a child and it wasn't even by my mother and dad, it was by my brother. Tried to control what I did growing up, which is probably why we don't have the best relationship now. My older brother was just trying to look out for me, I know that, but we had our ups and downs because of it. We definitely had our ups and downs because of it. But I think this is going to be the first time I ever actually get to the outside part of my builds. I'm also doing a lot longer of a stream than I did the first time, though, too. I haven't really decided what time I want to stop yet. But at some point I'll end up wanting to stop, I'm pretty sure on that one. That don't look too bad, honestly. Okay. And I am gonna apologize for any noises I make. I haven't been able to get rid of this cold I got a couple months ago. And the phlegm's acting up again, so gotta love it. I really do love the Book Nook stuff. I like making my own bookshelves up. I honestly love doing it because you get so many options this way. And I personally have a huge book collection. To the point that I don't have enough bookshelves for them. So. I would love my built-in bookshelves at some point in time. Honestly. Eventually I'll get that. Not anytime soon, obviously. But eventually. The puppy finally settled down, though. That's always a good thing, in my opinion. When the puppy wants to settle down, that's always a good thing. I think the fiance is right, though. I think he gets tired of watching me play, and he gets bored, and that's his way of saying, okay, I'm done. Get off the game. I want to watch TV again. He literally lays on the bed facing the TV and will watch TV with us. It's very cute and adorable when he does it. That's always the fun part. I like to add as much to those countertops as possible because I don't like when the Sims lay stuff down just randomly in areas. Honestly, I can't wait for the weekend. I don't know what anybody else is waiting for, but this weekend's gonna be awesome. That's how I feel about it. At least. I always wanted a sister growing up. I would have been happy with a brother too if my mom ever had right. Totally understand that. All my friends and my brother's friends ended up adopting my mom. So when you hear me say in chat like, oh, I go and visit my sister, that's my best friend in California that I go visit. Or like my brother from England, my mom literally every time I talk to him says, oh, tell my favorite son hi for me. And I kind of laugh because when it comes straight down to it, it's a running joke in the family at this point. Because all my friends and have adopted my mom over the years. So I will be the first one to admit that too. My friends all adopt my mother. My mom was that one mother that everybody wanted. Pretty much. It's like, okay. Have fun with that one. But I had my friends' parents who were, when I was over at their house too, that were like, you can call me mom. And out of respect, I never did. Growing up. Just the way I was raised. Even though I was given permission, I was like, I don't feel comfortable with that. And they understood. Like, they didn't take it as like a boo to them sort of thing or anything like that. I don't think I like how I did that bookshelf now. I think I want to move the bookshelf over into that corner so I can put a lot. I want to put a chessboard down. Then when I met my best friends in high school who also were an only kind of child, we had kind of each other. Not exactly. You're a few months older than her. Yeah, one of my cousins on my mom's side was born in November and I was born in July. So I was a couple months older than her. And then one of my friends, and I will admit this right now, I am not religious whatsoever, but I did grow up in the Episcopalian church, and our pastor's daughter was born in December on Christmas Eve. I'll just admit that right now. And the fact that even though she was the pastor's daughter, she didn't get special treatment as much as she wanted. You talked about throwing hissy fits. She threw the biggest hissy fit because I'm tall. I'm 6 foot tall. I'll be the first one to admit that. I am 6 foot tall. I have always been tall. So we did our church's, it wasn't the nativity scene. It was technically a nativity scene, but it was a pageant more like it, and I was always the lead angel, and she always hated me for it. The last time I went to church and actually had to sit through doing that, I was a lot older. I was in like high school. It was like my last Christmas I had to stay with my dad. And the new pastor's kid was doing the innkeeper for it. I was supposed to be born on Christmas Eve, but ended up being born 1 month and 2 days early. Right? She was born. My dad has a knack for guessing due dates. And he guessed my due date early, when I would be born early. He guessed like this day before I was born. And then was straight on for hers. And it was uncanny, they said. Like I said, I've been told a million stories though, too. So, I don't know what's true anymore. Uncanny stuff, you know. But he guessed straight on for hers. And they always made her birthday and Christmas special for her. So she was like overly spoiled, in my opinion, as a kid. I liked going over to her house. She always had the bigger doll houses. The only time I didn't enjoy it was when the church bazaar would happen, and there was the old-fashioned, well, I call them old-fashioned wooden doll houses that you have to, your first child was born right on her due date, which was March 12th of 90. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. They had one of those wooden doll houses, and it was a raffle, and we were literally, both of us were going around trying to get as many people to buy us raffle tickets to try to win it. And she played, well, I'm the pastor's daughter card, and she ended up getting more tickets than I did, and she ended up winning it because of it. So That's the only time I ever saw her actually get what she wanted. And I was kind of glad after that when we moved away. Because I didn't have to deal with that anymore. And that's the only reason I was happy about it. I was told by my doctor at the time that it was unusual for... Yeah, so I've personally, and I don't like to talk about this normally, I've had 3 kids. My oldest will be 12 this year. I went through some legal stuff, and I don't like to talk about it, but, I want to say he'll be 12 this year. He was born in 2012, so he young still. My middle one was born in 2015, and then my youngest was born in 19. Yeah, he'll be 12 this year, and they've all been born. They've all been big with my births, first off, and they've all been born a week early from their due dates, which I love. Personally, I enjoyed going a day. The first one was born on my dad's birthday, so it's kind of hard to forget his birthday when it comes straight down to it. I just don't celebrate their birthdays because it's really hard on me. Personally, I don't. I made the comment about how I'm close to my ex's brother. It's because I keep in contact with my youngest too. So that's why I keep in contact more than my ex does. Which is why he made the comment about how I'm more of a family than his own brother is. So I've been in some messed up relationships over the years. For being so... yeah. My my ex-brother-in-law, for all intents and purposes, has my youngest 2 kids. So... it's also why I go by Kalo and nobody will ever know my real name. Been through some crap and I don't want everybody knowing about it. Personal opinion, sorry. So, it's one of the reasons, literally, he's like, you're more family than my own brother, and it's his half-brother, so it's like, okay, whatever you say. And then he tells me why, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. You have our kids, and he won't even... And I've had 2 baby daddies, so I've been naughty in my lifetime. I am young, but I have not had the best 20s, put it that way. I had 6 children. They're all adults now and have their own lives. My mom is raising my oldest daughter's 2 boys. Oh my god. I've had 3 boys. Yeah, I still have preteens. Luckily, my oldest is only a preteen, so... only hitting preteenhood. Well, I get... yeah, no, 13, not 12. So yeah. He's still a preteen. I can officially say that still. I have not had any girls whatsoever. I was not blessed with little girls. I was only blessed with boys. So, there's that. So, let's see. Always fun. But no, seriously, I am sorry to hear that about your oldest grandkids. Because at that point, if they're the oldest, that is, your oldest daughter's grandkid. Oldest daughter's kids. It's always sad. So, I just did that wrong. And this is why I don't stream normally these builds. Because I have to do it a certain way to make it work, and it doesn't always want to work right. I will personally admit that one right now. I find these my harder builds because of the way I build. For these. Just personal opinion though. We picked on my brother-in-law for all intents and purposes because when he took on responsibility of my middle child, he does not have my oldest, he only has my middle and my youngest, to restart. He had almost 18-year-olds and he was restarting. And then he ended up with his girlfriend at the time pregnant and literally restarted. Fully restarted. Which sucked for him, but I have since learned that they're no longer together. I mean, they're still, like, co-parenting, obviously, but that's about it. Hopefully, but everybody's enjoying the stream though. Sorry to unload so much on people, though. Normally would never have done that. I'm gonna take a self-care moment for a minute. I need to run and grab some ice and some more soda. I'm out of drink. So give me one moment and I will be right back. Oh, and I have no like screen to go into like privacy mode, so you're just gonna be staring at what I'm staring at right now. So give me 1 second. Okay, I am back. I am so sorry about that. Guys, I just needed to go run and grab some ice. I can do the rest while I'm standing right here. You were 16 when you got pregnant with your oldest, and the person the person you got pregnant by walked out of your life the day I told him. I know that feeling. That's how the first one's father was. like, and the other 5 you had with your ex-husband. That makes sense. I've never personally been married to any of them. I just got knocked up by them. I got pregnant my first year out of high school, which is why it took me almost 10 years to go back to school. Because I was trying to figure out my life. From there. I met my ex at our 12th grade graduation dinner and dance. I met my first son's father at graduation, technically. Not that he'll ever admit that he had a kid with me. Ever. I am still working on my, like, doing, like, designs on, like, landscaping wise. I can put a whole bunch of stuff in. When it comes to actually using the plants and stuff, I have issues. I tend to use the same thing over and over again, even if like these will, like, cut through. But I think it adds a little, like, dimension to it, because who knows how long these have actually been put up for. Not all shrubbery stays neatly in a thing, but it's weird looking, so I'm gonna try something new. So bear with me. Please bear with me on these experiments that I'm doing. I've been with my current boyfriend since November of 2009. Nice. That's always a good thing. 2021 is when me and my fiance started dating. And yet, we still have yet to set an actual date for the wedding. Once we have the funds, we'll probably start planning when we're actually gonna go tie the knot, but as of right now, we haven't had the funds, so. I'm hoping at some point we will, though, so we'll see when we do. Let's see. Richmond. I'm working on building my community, and once I reach 50 followers and have a stream for 8 hours, have streamed for 8 hours on 7 different days, and have an average of 3 viewers, will be helpful. I'm working on stuff. Have to stop every so often and just stare at stuff on the computer for a minute. I'm a-trying. You got a welcome to the cozy corner from Frosty Tools. My only thing I have up right now. The first time Frosty Tools actually said anything. I just recently set up my Frosty Tools, so I'm working on it still. Right, I'm doing the free version of Frosty Tools, so it's not as great as everybody else's, but it works. And I am sorry about the squeaking now. Somebody woke up and wants to play, and he found his Mr. Squeaky toy. That I've been asking him for like 3 days now. He's trying to give you guys music. That's what I'm gonna say. The dog's trying to give you guys music to listen to. Squeaky, squeaky, squeaky. Oh wow, I didn't even realize I had already made it back around the other side. Haha! Shows you how much I can do. Without paying attention. I was wondering what that was at first. I thought it was a kitten meowing. LOL. No, my cats won't come into the room, and they're all older. Um, it's because they're dead afraid of the dog for some reason. Even though they grew up with dogs, they just don't like it. I think it's because they're older and they just don't like the hyperness of the dog. So they don't come in here. He just has a ton of toys all over the place, and his Mr. Squeaky dog says love on it, and it was his birthday present because his original Mr. Squeaky got holes in it and no longer squeaked. He also has a banana-shaped dog toy that squeaks, and a very annoying, very loud. He is a Chihuahua, Dachshund, and Pug mix. I believe I shared pictures on Pacific Creates Discord pet page. Yes, he's my little demon child, is how I like to put it. And I say that with the most up in love. I really do love my fiance's dog. Not mine. It's the fiance's. He just attaches himself to me. Huh. Kind of funny when you think about it. Because male dogs tend to attach themselves to the females in their life. Even if you're trying not to have them attach themselves to them. It always seems to happen that way for some reason or another. I don't think that's too weird. Put the hot tub up in this little corner that you're not going to use it for anything else otherwise. I don't know. I don't know about that yet. I'm rethinking a lot of this design right now. My mic must pick up a lot of noise easily, though. I have to have like 2 fans running just so that I stay cool. And I'm only on a headset mic. It's like, I do really apologize for my lack of preparedness on this. But I am working on it. Like I said. Cozy little back door to go into the backyard. Easier. Yeah, that looks good. I like that better than it did look. So I have a bad habit of liking straight lines when I do my walkways. So when I do my... Oh no! And I forgot to save.